Hello and good morning, YouTube. This channel, Bullied Resident, was started in order to expose community harassment in the township of Lower Merion, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. And I've had a few videos here, most of which I have taken down by request, and sometimes have felt the need to reissue them because of certain harassments that continued. Community harassment and or gang stalking was first started in Nazi Germany, continued on in Eastern Germany in a more high-powered fashion, and it was used by the Stasi or Red Guard in order to control dissidents and to actually neutralize their lives, to get the victim to either commit suicide or they were actually murdered. Certainly their character was assassinated, their financial life was ruined, their family life was ruined. If they had a girlfriend, or if it was a woman, they had a boyfriend, that relationship was ruined. And I've experienced those things. Every relationship that I've had since around 2006 has been sabotaged. Two of my girlfriends in Florida were harassed to such a degree, at least one of them, that they had to be hospitalized in a mental institution. And once they were in the institution, they were harassed by staff. One staff member physically assaulted her and then followed her around after she got out of the institution. That's how bad the harassment was. So not only do they harass you with gang stalking, vehicular harassment, they will follow you on foot and harass you that way in stores and also in your neighborhood. They will go after your loved ones or someone that you care about. And this has been confirmed by NSA whistleblower William Binney, who confirmed that gang stalking is indeed a method of controlling people who speak out in the government, whistleblowers, people that speak out about government policy, and that they'll go after loved ones if they're not effective enough on your person. And if the gang stalking is not successful, he has confirmed they will eliminate you. That means they will kill you. The government will kill you if their gang stalking isn't successful. So I've experienced this type of harassment for many years. And I am one that speaks out about government policy concerning privacy, also the loss of rights. The law isn't followed anymore. The law is something that is used against citizens, that is not used against people that are higher up or that are members of the elite, but is used to control the normal population. It applies to you and me, but it doesn't apply to the elite. It is used to control us. It is used against us, but the law isn't followed. There's a lot of framing going on. Within gang stalking, framing is one of the methods that they would use before they actually gang stalk you, because they're trying to neutralize you. They don't want to go through that much trouble. So in the description, I'm going to leave a link for a TI, or a targeted individual by the name of Myron, who experienced all phases of gang stalking or community harassment. And they say community harassment in order to cover up the fact that the government actually does this. This isn't anything but that. So you have to know for sure, as you're watching this, that this isn't some phenomenon of some offshoot group of nut jobs that is doing this. This is done by professionals. They're done by government contractors, many or often, and think of, say Blackwater, who are hired by the United States government to do work in Iraq, but they also work in conjunction with Department of Homeland Security, and they use those particular trained individuals to control the population if they feel that a person is a threat. And I don't mean a threat to national security, that they're a terrorist or anything like that, but you will be labeled a terrorist. You will be told within the community that you're a bad or dangerous person, and or both, and you're harassed to the point where you really don't have a life anymore. I've lost jobs as a result of this. Certainly, I've lost a great deal of money trying to defend myself against this using private detectives, buying different electronic equipment to stifle eavesdropping, and also I'm being attacked by directed energy weapons. Directed energy weapons, for those of you who are not familiar, on the news there was an attack on some officials in Cuba, American officials, where they call them sonic attacks, but those are labeled, and they are within the class of directed energy weapons. And in this particular case, it uses sound, and it actually destroys brain tissue. The particular directed energy weapons that are being used against me in the town of Bryn Mawr, actually Rosemont, Pennsylvania, are used to harass. I have severe fatigue. I suffered nosebleeds for 3 weeks at a time. My joints ache. I suffer more frequent orthopedic injuries, and this happened very quickly after I started getting hit with directed energy weapons in 2016. Mid 2016 or 2017, I started getting some pretty severe attacks from directed energy weapons after I arrived from Florida because my mother was sick. They know or suspect, my suspicion is that these are portable weapons. I believe that several of the neighbors had these weapons, that they were close by. I believe that at least one of my next door neighbors has one of these weapons and has been using it against me for 2.5 years. They cause physical damage. Because they use microwaves, your problems, your physical problems, will come much later on. As it accumulates damage in your body, you're being subjected to low levels of radiation on a constant basis, and it causes physical damage and will certainly rise your percentage. Your chances of getting cancer goes up considerably after being hit by these weapons for a long period of time. You might be able to get away with it for a few weeks, but this has been going on for years. I've complained about it to law enforcement. I've complained about it to federal law enforcement to no avail. Some of the research has said that these weapons are developed between the Department of Justice and the Department of Defense. So I'm so tired from all this stuff happening. I can't even speak right. Every morning when I get up, I'm completely fatigued. I cannot think straight. There are times where I have periods of lucidity if I'm able to rest, but as soon as I come home, I start to get hit by these weapons. If I try to rest after work around 5 o'clock, you can forget it. They turn it on. Especially at night, around the time of going to bed, they have it real heavy. They wait till I go to sleep. I wake up with my mouth dry. My body is like vibrating. Okay, you can feel that your body temperature is elevated. I have confused and clouded thought. This isn't something that is something else. These are directed energy weapons that are being used against my person on my street by my neighbors. And I'm getting zero help. They won't stop it because what the research says, that the Department of Justice and the Department of Defense jointly develop these weapons and use them against civilians if they're dissidents, if they speak, if they're activists, things of that nature, to reduce their life so they will stop talking about this stuff, what's going on in this country. I know it is very difficult for people to believe this stuff, but they do the same thing and worse in the United States to their own citizens that they've done, that you famously hear about in Russia. It's worse here because we have more developed weapons. It's much worse. And you would think, well, you get interrogated. Well, they throw you in mental institutions, and they take away your credibility. They'll sit there and ruin your life. My life has been stopped for the last 10 years, to a degree that I cannot enjoy myself because of what's been going on with the community harassment, the gang stalking, and you can't go anywhere without being harassed. I can't go into a store. I cannot go on a bike ride without being harassed. I cannot go to work without being harassed. Certainly when I come home within my own neighborhood, I'm harassed. I'm always, the directed energy weapons are always being used on me as soon as I get into the home. This has been going on, people, for many years. And now the intense level of it going on, I am really not able to enjoy my life. Nobody will do anything about it. Nobody investigates what I keep telling them. I had a private detective go to the local police and tell them that people were following me into stores, that what they saw was suspicious. They weren't able over a period of time. I didn't hire them for long enough. It's very expensive. It's very expensive to do that. But he told them, hey, look, these guys, there's something going on. Nothing was investigated. Nothing. I have actual video footage of me being ran by a cart and harassed in the Bryn Mawr Acme. And nothing was done. And the directed energy weapons abuse still is going on. These things kill people. They kill you over time. I'll leave links in the description for not only the gang stalking, but the article on the directed energy weapons attacks in Cuba. And hopefully the public will get a view and be able to see that this stuff actually is going on in the United States. Hundreds of thousands of people are complaining about gang stalking and being attacked by directed energy weapons, especially people that are activists. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm an American. I can speak about this stuff if I think policy is wrong, if I think people are being attacked, the rights are being taken away, that the Constitution is being absolutely ripped apart, thrown away, burned. Rights are being taken away. That's exactly what's happening in this country. I can say it all day long, and I'm an American for saying it. I'm more of an American. I'm exercising my rights. Not to say that anybody else isn't. You can live your life any way you want. You're an American. Anyway, please read the links and follow them in the description to see what it is that I'm talking about. And thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.